项目改编美国大学生学习语言的方法。
هر مرکز فلگشیپ زبان‌های کمرکاری‌ها کمتر یا میگیرن و ارائه میده.
जो कि हम एक साथ पढ़ते हैं अपने पसंद के शैक्षिक मुख्य विषय में.
كل البرامج تقدم للطلبة سنة كاملة لدراسة انغماسية وخبرة التدرج في الخارج.
मैं लैंग्वेज फ्लैगशिप के तालिबे इल्म होने के नाते अपनी जगह लूँगा.
我将倡为下一代全球性专业人才.
بمستوى عال من الكفاءة في اللغات الخارجة.
إلى أمن بلدنا وتقدمها.
也改变了我们今天的 Learning Chinese seemed sort of unfathomable. I mean, look at the characters.
Taking written and spoken Persian, not a word of English in the class.
Learning different languages, especially Hindi and Urdu, it helps us, start a conversation, a global conversation.
In order to fully communicate in a global environment, you have to be culturally aware and culturally competent.
You have to understand how a society thinks and feels about certain hot topics around the world.
Reaching out to people and building relationships with strangers is something that's just great.
Maybe I can help establish a peace between Israel and Iran. I'd love to be a part of that.
A blonde Westerner speaks Chinese. They want to talk and they want to teach you about their culture, and it's really exciting.
These will be not only our ambassadors of the future, but they will be our ambassadors in business, ambassadors in science, ambassadors in culture. We don't need a few hundred, we need thousands and thousands and thousands of individuals with these capabilities, and the Flagship program builds the platform to make that happen.
Global professional really means being top-notch in your field and discipline, but also being able to use language when you're working in that discipline.
These are languages of future commerce, future cultural exchanges, future learning environments.
Parents are looking for opportunities for their students to excel in a very tough job market. Part of the advantage that the Flagship students have is they spend their entire college career integrating high-level language skills with their major. And then they spend time overseas in an internship and direct enrolling in their topic area at a foreign university.
I hope to focus on Muslims in America. I feel that I'll be able to use Arabic in the workplace when I'm dealing with real issues and real problems.
I would like to work as a financial reporter.
As a Chinese and supply chain double major.
I'm very interested in working in the Foreign Service.
My interest is in modern Arab intellectual history. I'm shamelessly an aspiring academic.
I would like to go into media, television, news in India.
Flagship is helping me accomplish my career goals, which are to go to medical school and then graduate and go open a chain of clinics in India.
I want to do my capstone year in Syria, and when I return, I hope to go to law school and I want to study immigration law.
I want to graduate with a business degree and the Hindi Urdu Flagship degree and go on to get a job in international banking.
What gets me most excited about the Flagship approach to language teaching is that it stands to change the landscape of language teaching throughout this country.
History, philosophy, art, media, all those fields, all those disciplines become relevant to the study of language.
Typically, a Flagship student is a student who has a sense of adventure, who wants to reach out to the world and cross the bridges that currently exist and even build up new bridges between the United States and the rest of the world.
I think previously we used to train tourists. Now we really train explorers.
If you're interested in languages, if you're interested in learning about other cultures, this is absolutely the way to go. The program is really intensive. The level of education is high.
All our assignments are in Arabic, and it's a very intense class, but at the same time very rewarding.
The student-to-teacher ratio is really good.
She actually cares about the student. She goes out of her way in order to make sure that everyone understands every single word of the passage.
The teachers want to push us as far as they can push us.
Not only do I get to practice my Chinese, but I also get to practice using terms, professional terms, in my major.
This year I've had the opportunity to live in the language house in the Arabic cluster. Throughout the day I'm only speaking in Arabic.
I sit down with all of our students individually to really look at when they're going to go to China, what kind of courses they might want to take there, what kind of internship they might want to have.
We have students interning for Urdu Hindi newspapers who are working with lawyers, who are working with dentists, who are working with rural communities.
My internship in China next year, I hope to look in Shanghai in the financial district.
I'll be working for an Urdu language daily newspaper.
There's a really big community of teachers and students who are really interested in your progress as an Arabic learner, as a student, your career goals. There's always someone available for you if you need advice.
Outside of class, a lot of us like to get together and go to the Chinese Cultural Center or cook Chinese food.
I've had a lot of times where when people look at me, I say something to them and they have to take a double take and say, is this guy, speaking my language?
We're not trying to create language majors, nor are we trying to create translators. We're trying to create professionals who use the language in their daily life.
NASA's work has become exceedingly international. We have about 453 agreements with 60 some odd countries. We've had just incredibly great experiences with each of the flagship participants that we've brought in.
When I first entered the Foreign Service, I worked on political issues in Saudi Arabia, covering the first municipal elections ever. And so there I had to use my Arabic to get out on the streets and talk with Saudis who were voting in the municipal elections.
Teachers love the program because the students are so engaged. The students love the programs because they're effective. They really learn the languages.
Typically, a student tells us that he couldn't have imagined achieving that level of proficiency after the second year. And by the end of the fourth year, it's like, wow.
If any student is passionate about learning a critical language, definitely go for Flagship.
To all the parents, I want to tell them, if your students come and tell you that they want to study a foreign language, this is a signal that your sons and daughters want to be part of the global village. Do help them fulfill their dreams, knowing that they will be contributing to creating a better world.
If you're interested in other cultures, if you're interested in getting out of the American bubble, if you're interested in another group of people on the other side of the world, then this is your key to getting there.